Coach Lindsay after the game first time said to me, we're just not ready to play you guys. Well, they were ready tonight, and maybe we weren't so ready to play them. So, I give them all the credit in the world. I think they did a tremendous job defending us, and I have to give them, like I said, my hats off to them. I'm disappointed, but in this game, you got to be man enough to say you got beat too. We got whooped.
Tim, what do you feel like the biggest difference in the game was?
Well, I think that their ability to make plays on offense and our inability to make plays on offense. I think that both defenses made some plays. We didn't make enough plays, obviously, on defense, but we made some that kept us in the game, obviously. But the reality of the situation is they played better football, offense and defense than we played, and that usually ends up being the winner. In one part of the game, maybe we had some success on it was special teams, but the reality is that the amount of plays that are run on offense and defense, they won those plays.
What affected the field conditions have on you guys versus them?
There's no question. But both teams got to play on it. So, for us, it is difficult because our horizontal game goes pretty much kaput because of it. So, our horizontal game is, a big part of who we are. But, they did a good job defending it from what it looked like on the field. But I also think the field had a little bit to do with the defense of it too. But that's just a fact. That they had to play in the same field. And they found things that they could do against our defense, and we found some things, but we're just far too inconsistent on offense to play the game between the tackles tonight, and that was unfortunate. But it's the reality of the situation. Is the better team won tonight, and we both had to play in probably not the conditions I can guarantee you that we wanted to play in, and probably not the conditions that they wanted to play in. So I'm not going to use the field as an excuse, but it was a factor for us. Was it a factor for them? You'd have to ask them.
How would you summarize the season, and what do you think are the biggest positives you take into next year?
Well, anytime you're asking me after we just got beat, like we got beat, it puts a little damper on what we were trying to accomplish. There's no question about that. But I think it's like I told the team afterwards. I said you got to be man enough to look these guys in the eyes and say the better team won tonight. There's no question. But does that take away from the fact that we got here? No, but that's not what our goals were all about either, to be satisfied with just getting here. I hate to say it, I think we played with some inspiration. They played with a tremendous amount of inspiration to continue to play in the 2016 season, and we played football tonight. And when you don't have that inspiration that they had, that mentality that they had tonight, and it was a bond that I saw in their, watching them play, it was a bond I saw in their team, because they had some of their best players made some mistakes tonight, and they bounced back from those mistakes. Those guys showed some great resolve in bouncing back from some of the mistakes they made. Their tight end's a great player. Their quarterback's a great player. And they both, they had a fumble, they had an interception for a touchdown, but that didn't deter them from continuing to play the game at a high level when they had the opportunity to continue to play the game at a high level. And that's my hat's off to them. And defensively, they made enough plays when we had started to get some momentum and started to get some things going. They got the ball out, and they recovered the ball, which didn't give us an opportunity to do anything to stay in the game.
Kelly Shepard made a great play there to kind of get you guys back into the game in the fourth quarter. Can you talk a little about Kelly and that play?
Well, Kelly Shepard's been a Warrior for 5 years, so I have nothing but for me, for looking at the game as it turned out, probably from an individual standpoint, I'm extremely excited that he had the opportunity to make a play and do something that he's going to probably remember the rest of his life. My bet is that he wishes he did it in a game that we won, but Kelly made a play. It was a great play by Kelly, and it got us back in the game, and we had opportunity to do some things, and we just didn't take advantage of the opportunities that created in the game. That really created some momentum for us. But both times, the kick return created some momentum. We score, tie it up. That interception brings us back in the game. We get a 3 and out, and we can't do anything with it on offense. That's a credit to your opponent, to the opponent we had. Those guys rose up to every challenge that we gave them and made plays. And I couldn't be, as a football coach, that's what you want to inspire in your young people, is that things are going to go wrong in a game, the good, the bad, and the ugly of any game that's going to happen. And it's how you respond to those things that's important. And our response was nowhere near as good as the response the University of San Diego had tonight.
Coach, the last time you guys met, the defense controlled the pace of the game pretty well. Why did you guys have a hard time tonight containing Hodges?
No, I think they have a good game plan. They've had 10 more games to continue to play, and they played at a high level in those 10 games. And like when people talk about, look at that, regardless who they played, they beat teams bad. They just didn't beat teams; they beat them bad, and that it creates, I'm sure, a lot of confidence in what they're doing. They play with a tremendous amount of confidence, and I think they're schemed up. I think their coaches do a tremendous job. And I think they had an opportunity to watch and really study our film, and they came up with some things that they thought were going to be good against what we do, and they'd had a better game plan probably this time than they had 11 or 12 weeks ago, whenever that was. And on defense, they pretty much did the same things. So they mixed in a couple of different things they had done against us in the past, but I really think they had they had a good game plan, and to hold us to what they really held us to, I mean, that's a tremendous hats off to their defense, and obviously they lived up to the billings that they have.
Joe, it's obviously tough to establish any rhythm to the outside with just the field conditions, and you were obviously had to carry the ball a lot tonight. What did you guys see out there offensively? Were they doing anything different maybe than the first time they played you?
Yeah, they the first time they played us, they were running a little some even defense. They played some bear today or tonight. I think they just played us well on the perimeter. And I gotta hold on to the ball, in the middle. So.
Chris, what did they do well offensively? I mean, it seemed like you guys were having a tough time kind of, making tackles, putting your foot in the ground. And how much was that a factor, and what did they do well offensively?
I mean, it was definitely a factor for us trying to move around, but we got to just play flat-footed and be able to adjust to it. Great teams adjust, and I think what they did well is they came out fast. Those first two series, they went down and they drove on us, so I think that's something that they did well.
Joe, you're not usually the guy who gets outside, but it seemed like your horizontal game, as your coach said, your kind of the sweeps and outside plays were really hard to run the way the field was. How much of a factor was field conditions in terms of maybe the plays that you guys could run, the plays you're comfortable with running, either pitches or just trying to get to the outside?
Yeah, I think it definitely affected our perimeter pitch game. But they had to go through the same stuff, so I definitely, like Coach Walsh said, I'm not gonna blame it on the weather conditions. You gotta be able to play through it.
Chris, as a senior, last football game here, and just what have the last couple of years been like for you? I know coming in as a transfer. How have you enjoyed your time at Cal Poly?
Yeah, I've enjoyed every minute that I've been here. And I'm so thankful that the coaching staff allowed me to come here when I did. Every moment of it, I've appreciated it, and I'm really thankful for them allowing me to come here.
Joe, you just lost the last game of the year, so it's kind of a hard question, but what do you see this offseason like for you, and what are your emotions kind of going into
I think the only thing that'll get those two fumbles off my mind is just, working hard and grinding in the off season. I feel bad, that I had the game that I had, to send off, seniors, my brother right here, Chris. But, I just wish them the best of luck in the next level play. So